We try to quantify how much your friends influence you to share information when they are sharing themselves.
At the 2013 SIAM annual meeting, Lotta Atomic discussed how researchers are studying the ways that information spreads and evolves within online social networks.
So the first question is just how far does the information spread? And in fact, we can see very large cascades forming in a small number of cases. So we can study those large cascades. And in those large cascades, what we can also see is that sometimes the information changes, especially if it's not a perfect copying mechanism.
Atomic gave several examples of how the cultural phenomena of memes, the spreading of ideas from person to person, occurs via the internet.
And the meme itself was in support of Obamacare, and it said no one should die because they cannot afford health care, and no one should go broke because they get sick. Now, in that exact form, it was copied about 400,000 times. But some people thought it needed a little bit of humor, so they changed it. No one should be without a beer because they can't afford one, and no one should go broke because they bought too many beers.
When it comes to quantifying the impact of social connections, Atomic explained that although strong social ties are individually more influential, it's the more abundant weak ties that are responsible for the wide spread of information.
There are digital traces of this, so we can kind of analyze it and aggregate and see all sorts of different trends. Now, it's not exactly like it is in the offline world because online you tend to have much more of a skew, of a heavy tail. So some individuals and some pages have many more connections than others, and so it does matter when they share the information versus when just regular Joe Schmo is sharing information.
We looked at whether the person had a friend who had posted a copy previously and whether it was an exact copy that had been made or a mutation. And from this, we got the mutation rate.
One intriguing approach used when studying social networks as information filters is to draw parallels between evolution and mutation and the propagation of ideas.
Some evolution is very subtle, so just little tweaks in wording. There are others that will change, so if it's a political message and it's spreading among primarily people who are of one political leaning, someone might actually change it, twist it around, and have it carry the opposite message. And then you see the people who are resharing it are actually of the opposite political leaning.
One of the potential applications of studying social networks is the development of predictive models that could be used to understand current public opinion and political trends.
People do this both on Twitter and on Facebook. They will track certain hashtags or certain terms and then automatically infer sentiment based on sentiment word dictionaries. And so you can tell over time, for example, for televised presidential debates, you can